I'm an alpha, and I'm in love with my brother. To test whether he might have feelings for me too, I pretended to get close to a little Omega. Then he threw me onto the bed, hard. Well done, Carlos, my little brother, using my family membership card to check into a room at my hotel, with another guy. You're dead. You hear me? I pushed him away in fear. You promised you'd never hit me. He smiled. Of course I'm not going to hit you. Then he stroked the back of my neck, and bit down. The bite mark was an Enigma bite. I was about to cry. You're an Enigma, and you never thought to mention it? 1. As an alpha, I have a secret I can't tell anyone. I'm touch-starved. Only my half-brother knows about this. He's always been kind to me. He holds me to sleep, lets me rest in his arms, even releases his pheromones to help soothe me. I don't know why, but even though we're both alphas, his scent always calms me down. When Justin isn't around, I can't sleep properly. That night, I woke up, out on the balcony. His cigarette glowed red at his fingertips. He was on the phone. Yeah, still working on it. The little Omega, almost ready. I'll bring him home for you to see. My heart sank. I'm not an Omega, which means I can never be with Justin. I figured it was time to find someone else to help with my condition. As Justin ended the call and crushed the glowing tip of his cigarette, I quickly shut my eyes and pretended to be asleep. Soft footsteps approached, and he climbed into bed. His body was still cold from outside. He reached out and pulled me into his arms, one arm wrapping around my waist. His fingertips brushed against my skin through my clothes. They were cool. My eyes stung. I shifted a little, telling myself it was just a dream. It had to be. Maybe that trick worked, because I actually fell asleep again. In my dream, I was a kid again. I saw my stuffed toys, my old drool-stained bib, all thrown into a trash can together. You're too old to be clinging to this junk. Did you finish your homework? Practice piano? You're just like your dad, useless. Stop crying. Then the woman turned and walked out, disappearing into the dark hallway. I used to have dreams like this before, but never had they made me feel so uneasy, so heartbroken. I woke up to Justin calling my name. Still dazed, I looked at the man in front of me. Justin was handsome, strong features, deep-set eyes. When he looked at you, it was like getting pulled into a vortex. I stared, dazed. He reached out to wipe under my eyes. What's wrong, Carlos? Nightmare? That's when I realized. My face felt wet. I was crying. No. I denied it without thinking. Justin pulled me into his arms, stroking my hair gently. Okay, if you don't want to talk, then don't. Just remember, your big brother is always here for you. I stayed in his arms for a bit, unmoving. He was so good to me. I didn't want to leave him, didn't want to push him away. But Justin was older now. He was at the age to start thinking about marriage. He was a normal alpha. He needed a perfect Omega match. And me, I couldn't be so selfish. I couldn't cling to him forever. With that thought, I pushed him away and quickly got out of bed. Bro, I'm gonna be late for school. He froze for a second, then nodded. Alright, I'll drive you. I got ready in a flash and waited in the garage. He followed soon after, handing me a warm crab bun and a soy milk through the window. Eat something. Justin was a bit of a clean freak. His car was always spotless, and it carried the cool scent of his fir tree pheromones. He never smoked or ate in his car. It was kind of a rule. I shook my head. Forget it. It'll stink up the whole place. He looked up and smiled. Didn't stop someone from throwing up in my car after getting wasted. He glanced at me in the rearview mirror and sighed. Why are you sitting in the back today? Feeling distant from your big bro? What, did I hit you in a dream or something? My throat tightened. I reached for the door handle, but he stopped me. Sit. The back is safer. Then he turned sideways, extending his arm. His fingers were long and graceful. He curled them toward me, just like always. I rested my face in his palm. He gently rubbed my chin. Good boy. I was just joking. I'd never hit you. I nodded, my nose stinging. Justin used to threaten to hit me all the time, until he saw the scars on my body. He never said it again after that. I was a messed up kid. Drinking, smoking, clubbing, bad habits everywhere. It was Justin who straightened me out. He practically raised me, nagging like an old man. I used to fight back hard. Once I even threw up in his car on purpose. I pretended to pass out, pulled his hair, even secretly took some photos of him. I used to think, if he pisses me off again, I'll send these to the Omegas in his office and let them have their fun. Let's see how much he'll keep nagging then. Justin was usually calm, but eventually I pushed him too far. One night I was in bed with a few little Omegas, hadn't even started anything when he barged in and yanked the whole blanket off the bed. Out! All of you. Then he turned to me. What the hell are you doing? I blew smoke in his face. Playing cards. His face darkened. He plucked the cigarette from my mouth. Playing cards? Before I could answer, he grabbed my jaw with one hand and shoved me against the wall. His eyes were dark and furious. Looks like you really need your ass kicked. Nothing else works with you. Ha, gotta beat it into your memory. His words hit a nerve. I slammed my head into his chin. You're the one who needs a beating. My own parents don't even care about me. What the hell are you? Who gave you the right? He turned his head and spit out blood. Before he could say anything, I pounced on him again. I couldn't beat him. I don't know why, but his pheromones were stronger than mine, more dominant, just like my father's, who was an enigma too. It made me go weak at the knees. In one swift move, he flipped me and pinned me to the ground. His hand tightened around my neck, his voice low and oppressive. Carlos, you screwed up. I have to teach you a lesson. He suddenly stopped mid-sentence. His rough fingertips brushed over my waist. There was a scar there. His hand lingered, warm and hesitant. What is this? Carlos, tell me, who did this? He turned me over. Don't move. As I struggled, he ignored it and pulled off his tie, binding my wrists. Then he lifted my shirt to check my front. His eyes turned red, like he was drunk. Tell me, who did this to you? Tell me, and I'll make them disappear. We were in the middle of a fight just moments ago. I bit my lip and looked at him. His temple was twitching with rage as he stared down at me. My anger started to fade. He was mad, because I'd been hurt, because I had a scar. He cared. Did he really care about me? Could someone in this world actually care? My nose stung. I turned my face away and mumbled, "You don't need to worry about it." Justin pulled me into his arms. His shoulders were broad, and that night, after crying myself out, I fell asleep right there. The strange thing is, I didn't wake up halfway through the night. His scent, his pheromones, they stayed with me, like they were never going to leave. 2. Justin was a quiet guy, and he drove steadily. We finally got to school. I checked the time, less than 10 minutes till class started. Justin got out and helped straighten my scarf. What time does class end? I'll come pick you up. I shook my head. It's my friend's birthday today. You're probably busy, so you don't have to. Justin frowned slightly. I didn't say I was busy. Even if I am, picking you up doesn't take that long. I hadn't thought of an excuse yet when a voice called out from not far away. Carlos. What a coincidence. It was Morgan, a lively little Omega. Back in high school, before we differentiated, we actually shared a dorm room for a while. I smiled and waved at him. He ran over and hugged my arm. You've got an 8 A.M., too? I nodded and introduced him to Justin. Morgan's eyes lit up. He bent slightly and said, "Hi, big brother." Justin looked especially good today, tailored suit, pale skin, though the tip of his nose was red from the cold. His dark eyes scanned Morgan a few times. Then he smiled and looked at me. Carlos's friend? Yeah, we've known each other since middle school. We're super close. Is that so? Justin looked at Morgan again. As his gaze dropped, I bit my lip, feeling suddenly uneasy. He'd smiled several times already. Morgan was cute, smart, and even his voice had that sweet, gentle tone. Of course Justin would like someone like that. Otherwise, why keep staring? Not bad, Justin said in his usual deep voice. It sounded like approval. My heart sank, and I looked up. His Adam's apple shifted. Carlos, this is the friend whose birthday it is today. I shook my head. No, it's someone else. An Omega? I didn't feel like thinking too hard, so I just nodded. Justin's dark gaze landed on me. Seems like Carlos sure has a lot of Omega friends. I couldn't tell if he was complimenting me or implying something else, so I said, "Yeah, I do. Want me to introduce one to you, Justin?" His jaw clenched. "No need, call me after. I'll come pick you up." With that, he got in the car and started the engine. Why did he sound annoyed? Oh, right, I remembered. Justin already had a little Omega he was seeing. He even mentioned bringing them home to meet the family. 3. Carlos, your brother is just as handsome as you, Morgan said, still clinging to my arm. I wasn't in the mood to chat, so I walked into the classroom. I could barely focus on any of my classes that day. That night, after the cake and before karaoke, I hesitated for a long time but eventually sent Justin my location. He called almost immediately. I stepped out of the private room and crouched against the wall. "Hey, bro." His voice was brief. "Come out. You're here already?" "Yeah." I quickly said goodbye to my friends and headed out. Sure enough, I saw Justin's car parked outside. "You got here fast," I said as I opened the door and slid in. I was nearby dropping off a friend, he replied. A friend? I blanked out a bit, then suddenly felt a cool breath wash over me as Justin leaned over, his long fingers reaching for my seatbelt. He carefully pulled it across my chest and clicked it into place at my waist, but he didn't move away right away. Instead, he leaned in closer, taking a few breaths near my neck. His warm breath made my skin tingle. You drank quite a bit again, he asked. Did you have fun tonight, sweetheart? My body tensed. I swallowed and nodded. Justin, was your friend an Omega? No, an Enigma. I let out a long breath. I didn't even know what I was relieved about. Maybe just that day hadn't arrived yet. He hadn't confessed. He hadn't told me to get out of his bed. As for Enigmas, so what if they could mark both Omegas and Alphas? Thinking about our father, I wrinkled my nose. I hate Enigmas the most. Justin kept his eyes on the road, silent. When we got home, I went to shower. By the time I came out, Justin had already fallen asleep on the couch. His gray shirt was still on, a few buttons undone, exposing his pale skin, his collarbones, wrists, ankles, head tilted back. Adam's apple pronounced, the back of his hand covering his eyes, breathing softly. I couldn't help but tiptoe over. I just wanted to look at him a little longer, but he noticed quickly and pulled me into his arms. His hand touched my back, feeling the dampness. He lifted his eyelids. Why didn't you dry your hair? I buried my face in his chest and didn't move. Justin grabbed a hairdryer and started drying it for me. His fingers ran gently through my hair, massaging my scalp. It felt so good. It made my throat itch. I kind of wanted to suck on his fingers, but I held it in. As a kid, I got in trouble for that more than once. My thumbs were always red and chapped from sucking. I never kicked the habit. It only got better after I started staying with Justin. Once my hair was dry, we lay down in bed together. Lights off. Justin held me tightly, my face pressed against his chest. His arms squeezed so tightly, it was almost suffocating, but I liked it. He felt especially warm tonight, almost feverishly warm. I shifted a little. Justin, do you have a fever? He didn't even open his eyes. No, Carlos, go to sleep. But I couldn't sleep. After a while, Justin nudged my head gently with his chin. My sensitivity period is coming. I've taken a lot of suppressants in the past, but they don't seem to work so well this time. Sweetheart, he paused, like he was waiting for my reaction. So, was he finally going to tell me to leave? I knew the rules. When an alpha enters their heat, they can't be near another alpha. It's considered a challenge, a threat. It can lead to fights. But being near an Omega, that's a whole different story, and not a PG one. He said the suppressants weren't working, but I'm an alpha. I've never heard of suppressants being ineffective. I knew what he meant. I held back tears and nodded obediently. Okay, Justin, I'll sleep in my room tomorrow. He didn't say anything for a long time. Just when I was on the verge of crying myself to sleep, I heard his low voice. Carlos, I really don't know what to do with you. It's me who doesn't know what to do with you. I thought, as my tears silently fell. I remembered the day we fought. When I woke up on top of Justin, it was already 5 p.m. He saw me stir and playfully tapped my nose with his finger. Finally awake? If you hadn't been sucking on your fingers, I would have thought you passed out. I climbed off him, rubbing my eyes. Outside the window, the sun was setting. A sense of loneliness washed over me, but it didn't last long. Justin got up and turned on every light in the room. In the semi-open kitchen, he tied an apron around his waist and smiled gently from behind the island counter. You hungry, Carlos? Go wash your face. Dinner's almost ready. I could smell his scent all over the house, lingering and strong. His coat hung on the rack nearby. I buried my face into it. The scent was even stronger. That moment, I realized, I was done for. I was physically attracted to my brother, and I'm an alpha, a gay alpha, a hopeless case of a pervert. I thought Justin would start avoiding me, so I tried to play difficult, drinking before bed and pretending I couldn't sleep without it. Justin, seriously, I really can't sleep without a drink. You didn't seem to have any trouble sleeping in my arms that night. That's because your scent has a sleep-inducing effect or something. Justin took the glass from my hand and didn't put it down. Instead, he drank it all and looked at me deeply. Then I'll just hold you again tonight. The more I remembered, the more my chest ached. My tears were getting heavier. Luckily, I held it in. I didn't sob, but I was close to breaking. Just as I was about to get up and pretend to go to the bathroom for a good cry, Justin's hand reached over. He touched my face. My heart skipped. He sighed. Sucking your fingers again, all covered in drool. Like a baby. I felt him move in the dark, like he was unbuttoning something. A soft tissue dabbed my face clean, then something pressed against my lips. I instinctively sucked twice, and realized, it was Justin's chest. "Justin, what are you doing?" I stared wide-eyed in shock. At this point, even if he said he didn't like me, I wouldn't believe him. My heart swelled so much I couldn't sleep. If Justin liked me, if he really wanted to be with me, then, being two alphas wouldn't matter. Sure, it might hurt a little, but, if Justin really liked me, why hadn't he ever said it? I spent half the night thinking. The next morning, with dark circles under my eyes, I caught sight of Justin in front of the mirror, sticking something on his neck. I instantly fell silent and crept back into bed. Then I grabbed my phone and messaged Morgan. He was a total heartthrob Omega, super experienced with relationships and had dated more guys than I could count. I asked, "Carlos, Morgan, how do you know if someone likes you?" He replied fast. "Morgan, who do you like? Who likes you?" I hesitated, wondering if I should tell him the truth. While I was thinking, another message popped up. "Morgan, you like your brother, don't you?" Morgan, I knew it. The way he came down to fix your clothes the other day. Morgan, if it were my brother, he'd let me freeze my ass off and just call me an idiot. Guess Justin's just not like other brothers. I typed again. "Carlos, seriously, you think so? Is there a way to confirm it?" Morgan sent a voice message. "Confirm what? Isn't it obvious? That day I said we were best friends. Didn't you see his face? When you said you'd introduce him to an Omega, his face darkened. I thought it was just some weird brother kink you two had going on. If you don't believe me, come find me this afternoon, we'll test it." "Test it?" I shut off my phone. "Fine, let's test it." 4. Morgan didn't ask me to go to his place. Instead, he told me to book a hotel. I did as he said, but this time I wasn't going to let Justin give me a ride. I planned to take a taxi by myself. It must be because my sensitivity period was coming soon. Justin didn't go to work today and stayed home instead. He was dressed up flashy. "Carlos, heading out?" I nodded. Just as I was about to step out, he grabbed me suddenly. "Not taking your brother with you?" I looked confused. "Bro, I made plans with my friends to hang out." His face turned cold instantly. "Oh, really? Go then." I put on my coat and left. When I got there, Morgan was already waiting in the hotel room. He had just showered and was leaning on the couch, tossing me a game controller. "Play for a bit, then call your brother." For some reason, even though it was just a game, I felt guilty. When it was time to call, I hesitated. Morgan frowned at me. "Dude, this is make or break. If you don't bring him over, don't push him, how will you two ever talk?" "But, my brother will definitely hit me if he catches me," Morgan said. "We're not actually doing anything. Who says friends can't rent hotel rooms to game? Can you handle that or not?" Then he snatched the phone from my hand. "If you can't, I'll call for you." My hands shook nervously. The phone beeped, but the call didn't go through. Justin's phone was always on 24/7. I thought about what I'd just seen at home. Justin all dressed up so properly. Could it be, he was secretly meeting with a little Omega? My heart dropped to the pit of my stomach. I stood up to open the door and go back, but then I bumped into a tall figure right there. My collar was suddenly grabbed. I looked up, and his gaze cut like a knife. Well, Carlos, bro, what are you doing here? You little bastard, tell me why I'm here. You're my brother. You use my family card to book a room in my hotel to secretly meet other men. I'm telling you, you're dead. He threw me straight into the room. The heavy scent of his pheromones instantly claimed this territory. Morgan stammered, then turned and ran, crashing into my brother's bodyguard. "It's a misunderstanding. Bro, you two go to sleep. I'll explain everything after." The door slammed shut behind him. My legs went weak as I looked at Justin. I'm an alpha too, but how did I end up feeling so spineless? I almost started crying. "Bro, I was wrong." Justin threw me onto the bed. His pheromones poured out in waves. When an alpha enters sensitivity, they get irritable, restless, and their aggression spikes. My brother was really mad now. Was he going to beat me to a pulp? I curled up, clutching my chest, trying to appeal to his conscience. "Bro, you promised you'd never hit me. You always stand by my side." Justin said, "I'm not going to hit you." But he rolled up his sleeves and took off his watch, revealing his strong, long arms. I steeled myself, closed my eyes, and yelled, "Hit me then, kill me, then you won't have a brother anymore." Then I felt his hand clamp around my neck. I flipped over as he pressed down on me. His deep voice sounded near my ear. "Is that so, Carlos? I never really saw you as a brother anyway." The pain I expected came, but it was in my neck. He bit me hard, His hot breath mixed with my winter-cold pheromones. This wasn't right. My whole body went limp. I couldn't even beg. My brother was an enigma. How else could his suppression have worked on me so many times? Why was I so drawn to his scent? He was always above everyone else. Alpha above alpha. A high-class enigma. I used to call them super male species. Enigma. My thoughts stopped. That place, which I never expected to matter, started to get wet. Justin held my chin, gently rubbing his nose against me. Carlos, relax a little. 5. Justin's sensitivity period lasted surprisingly long, half a month straight. He was lucid for some time in between. I asked him, if you like me, why didn't you say so earlier? He lowered his eyes. At first, I thought you didn't like men. Then I thought you didn't like enigmas. So I tested you. That day, when you were lying on my chest, you didn't resist either, right? A question mark appeared over my head. How did you know I wasn't sleeping? Justin ravaged me from head to toe. I didn't release pheromones that day. Didn't you say you couldn't sleep without me? I tried to explain quickly. I meant I can't sleep without drinking. Bro, you're so sly. I suddenly remembered the call he made. I asked honestly, weren't you saying you wanted to bring a little Omega home? Justin frowned. When did you hear that? That night. I said quietly. I overheard your call. His expression suddenly grew serious. He cupped my face. To me, it doesn't matter if you're Omega or Alpha. I like you. I wasn't used to it and stared wide-eyed. He spoke again. Is that why you've been avoiding me? If we don't face it, we'll just bury our heads in the sand, right? Carlos, you should know how I feel about you. I looked down. I don't think anyone likes me. Not even my parents. Then my mouth was covered. My failure was not letting you feel loved. So now, Carlos, feel it properly. I gasped. Then everything went dark. On the last day of December, Justin's sensitivity period ended, but what was between us didn't. To thank Morgan, I treated him to a meal. His eyes kept scanning my neck, smiling sweetly. Looks like Carlos really got a beating from his brother. I blushed but quickly shrugged it off. Can't help it. Justin's stamina is too good. I can't win. No way. Morgan sipped his tea, staring out the window. I'm so jealous of Carlos. Wish my brother treated me that well. I saw his mood sour. Want me to help you out too? Morgan shook his head. No need. I know he doesn't like me one bit. At that moment, any comfort felt hollow, but Morgan smiled again. Honestly, I don't care. After dinner, my brother messaged me saying he was taking me home. I said bye to Morgan. Want me to see you off? No, my driver's coming, he said, hopping toward the street. I followed his retreating figure, then noticed someone familiar. Someone stepped out of a car to open the door for him. My brother's bodyguard? No way. My brother's salary wasn't high enough for that. Was this guy working a side job? A honk snapped me out of my thoughts. Justin, wearing a coat, was leaning against the car, tall and sharp-looking. After locking eyes with me, he opened his arms. I hurried and threw myself into his embrace, climbing up to wrap my arms around his neck. Bro, if we go back like this, do you think we'll get beaten up? No, Justin said firmly, kissing my forehead. Before I confess to you, Carlos, I already arranged everything. Extra chapter 1. My father married a woman, and she brought along a son. I wondered, what kind of woman could make such a normally serious old man so captivated? When I got home, things seemed okay, but what caught my attention even more was her son. That little Alpha wearing a bunny hat, crying by the trash bin in the backyard. I crouched down to look at him. Why are you crying? The little Alpha pointed at the trash bin. It turned out to be a doll and a small handkerchief. I wanted to help, but the woman came over to stop me. Justin, don't bother with him. Cry. How old are you? What Alpha plays with stuff like this every day? Stop sucking your fingers. The little Alpha's hand was red from being hit, and he scaredly hid behind me. I shouldn't have interfered, but I still told the woman to stop. The little Alpha looked up, his round face all scrunched from crying, and called me brother. 2. Through spring, summer, fall, and winter, I only come home briefly during summer and winter breaks. Every time, the little Alpha is so happy to see me, but when I leave, he never tries to stop me. The car is already far away, but I can still see his figure in the rearview mirror, a tiny black dot. He's probably crying again. I turn back and ask, do you want to live with your brother for a while? His mother comes out and pulls him away, saying, you can't hold your brother back. I say I won't be a burden and ask him again if he wants to come with me. His eyes are full of longing, but he still shakes his head. Later, I went abroad and stayed there for 5 years. When I came back, Carlos had grown into a young man, but he drinks, smokes, and hangs out with the wrong crowd. I watch him crush a cigarette in his palm, see him drunk, head down on the table. I can't quite put my finger on the guilt, but it stings a little. I told him I was back, but he stopped calling me brother. He told me to get lost. How did he become like this? 3. I started paying attention to him, treating him well, but he never appreciated it. I only realized by chance that he seemed to really like my pheromones. Since he liked it, I let him smell me more often. I noticed he always woke up startled from sleep, looked exhausted, even though I wasn't the cause. Still, I felt uneasy. I pitied him. I cared for him. I even wanted to save him. That was a bad idea. Until one day, I saw his underlings telling me he had rented a hotel room with a bunch of little Omegas. I was furious, not because he was still young, or because it wasn't the right path for his age. I was jealous. I think I had fallen in love with him.